Hello everyone. We are now learning about emergency response to ships flooding and sinking. The ship's flooding is mainly caused by groundings, reefing, collisions, explosions, water tightness, failures, high wind and wave attacks, shipbuilding defects, and weapons attacks. If the rate of water inlet is greater than the rate of discharge, it will jeopardize the safety of the ship, and the necessary procedures and methods of emergency response should be taken. After learning this period, you are required to finish the following task. Master emergency response of the flooding and sinking. Familiarize the test points about emergency response of the flooding and sinking in the examination of basic safety, personal safety, and social responsibility. The contents include 5 parts: lead-in, emergency response of ship flooding, emergency response of ship sinking, test and extension. Part 1, lead-in. Watch the video and answer the question. What further steps should be taken to avoid sinking after a collision between 2 ships? Measures that should be taken to avoid sinking after a collision between 2 ships include stopping engine immediately, checking the area of collision and the extent of the damage, determining whether there is a danger of sinking, and holding the other ship against the other ship with a micro-speed feeder to prevent slipping out, etc. Part 2, emergency response to ship flooding. Teams of emergency response of the flooding consist of drainage, isolation, damage control, first aid. Chief engineer, third officer, boatswain, doctor or steward as team leader. Emergency response to ship flooding as following. 1. Sound the damage control alarm when ship damage is detected. 2. After hearing the alarm signal, all the crew carry the damage control equipment as per the master list and rush to the scene quickly to get ready for the damage control. 3. The chief officer in command of the scene led the damage control and isolation team, identified the damage area, and reported to captain to determine the rescue plan. 5. While the carpenter sounds freshwater tanks, ballast water tanks. The second engineer sounds the level of the oil tanks, and the chief officer checks the location and size of damage area. 5. When the ship is damaged, notify the engine room to stand by engine and stop engine or slow down the ship. 6. As soon as the area of flooding is identified, cabin drainage, pump out water should be carried out immediately. 7. The damage control teams are undertake the damage control repair task. 8. Assign carpenters to sound the water at regular intervals. Caution the effect of flooding on the stability and buoyancy of the vessel. System. In case of emergency, the master may request third-party assistance. 10. The master shall instruct the duty officer to keep detailed records. Part 3. Emergency response to ship sinking. Emergency response for ship sinking includes 1. If a large amount of water enters into the ship, sinking can't be avoided. The ship must be sailing to a safe place to run aground at once. Beaching. 2. Should try to plug the leakage after beaching to ensure that the ship does not continue to sink. 3. Although all crew members have tried their best to rescue the ship, it is inevitable that the ship would sink. In order to ensure the safety of the crew, the captain, after careful and prudent consideration, may issue a signal to abandon ship. 4. After hearing the signal of abandoning ship, all the crew members should wear life jackets immediately and go to the deck to get ready for abandoning the ship. 5. The officer shall lead the sailors to close all the valves of the liquid cargo hold pipe system and block the related ventilation holes to prevent spillage. 6. Under the leadership of the chief engineer, the duty engineer shall stop the electricity and other abandonment of the ship for safety protection and evacuate the engine room with the specified items. 7. When abandoning a ship, a person shall be designated for lowering the national flag and carrying it with him/her, switching off, stopping the generator, and closing the submarine valves, etc. 8. When abandoning the ship, a person should be responsible for carrying the logbook, engine logbook, etc. After abandoning the ship, the master shall report to the company and the Maritime Administration on the amount of oil remaining on board. And after abandoning the ship, the master shall maintain the original authority over all crew members, and all crew members shall obey the master's command. Part 4 Test. Now, please complete the following exercises according to this lesson. Part 5 Extension. When the water sinks, the plugging should be organized immediately, and the methods of ship plugging include skull crack. First, a small hole is drilled at each end of the crack, and then a rubber or other soft material is placed over the crack, pressed against a wooden board, and supported and secured by means of a wooden post. 2. Hole in the hole. A cork comparable size can be wrapped in fabric inside the boat and stuck directly into the broken hole. 3. Huge hole in the hull. If the water pressure in the bridge is too high, a plugging blanket should be applied to the bridge outside the hull to reduce the water intake. The above is what we learned about emergency response to ships flooding and sinking. That's all for this class. Thank you.